Right here we have the virtual learning schedule. It's linked here. I know Kristen is going to share a little bit more with you with an example. So this is the actual schedule if you're looking for it. Then here the specialist did a great job in breaking down learning into that gradual release model of I do, we do, you do, which is our literacy model for the district as well, where it's a direct teach with a read aloud and sometimes a shared reading piece, mini lesson, and then moving into a quick redo into the you do for majority of the class. Kristen has then broken it down into the reading workshop minutes, writing workshop minutes, phonics workshop minutes, and then a total of 100 minutes in the model. This is what it would look like, if you had 100 full minutes. What she's going to show you in a little bit is how it translates. I'm just going to show you since you have not seen this maybe yet. You will see here it is the same architecture of a workshop lesson, and this is a virtual phonics lesson, and it's an architecture of reading and then writing, but you still have the introduction, the focus, and the teaching point, the small guided practice, and then the actual independent partner work. What is that going to look like? Partner work might be sharing or viewing each other's Flipgrid. Partner work might be they post something on a Padlet and the other one has to respond. So that's the kind of thing you're going to have to navigate, like what those little structures that you put in place for them to interact. But the minutes, you notice here it says 5, and she's like 2 to 5. And this is 3 and 5. And that's the very short 15-minute phonics lesson at the upper grades, because phonics is taught daily, 4th and 5th, in small groups a couple times a week. So those are there for you as just guides about what you're thinking about as far as components in a lesson, knowing the time might adjust and shift. When that happens, we proportionately shave off. So if we had 90 minutes for reading workshop, and now we have 45, 50 minutes, still 75% of the time minimum to 80 is dedicated to the you do, with the teacher monitoring and meeting and checking in. So that's going to stay the same. So let's jump back now to our slideshow. So you have all this information that you just took in from Kristen's videos. So the IFD, the pacing tools, and actually before that, the unit previews. You know about the performance assessments by day. You know about the pacing guide for the year where you're kind of planning your time. She gave you templates for planning the calendaring of the TEKs and then moving them into a daily plan. So you have all this in front of you. And so now how does that look like in a virtual setting? That's what we need to move into next. So what Kristen has done, it's really fabulous, is she took that template I just showed you in the Staying Strong remote resources, and then she fleshed it out into the architecture of reading workshop, and architecture of writing, and architecture of phonics. Here is the actual full example. This is a screenshot. And then right here is a video. So I do want you to pause me one more time, and I want you to watch this video as she explains how she went through and chunked the lesson in the virtual learning schedule. Okay. Make sure you do that because it will help you when you are actually planning. So now I would like to, before we end here, go back and make some explicit connections. So on her example, go ahead and pull it up. You will notice, and they have some ideas up top here too, by the way. But school starts at 7:50. You notice the live portion, we're definitely saying reading should be taking place. So notice right here, this is what architecture of a mini lesson is like, where you're looking at the hook and your direct instruction. This is still following the minutes of this learning schedule. And then over here on the right, there's actually what you're supposed to be doing. You continue going down. Notice it's a 15-minute, we do, but this at this point is this guided practice where the students will write what they read and why they enjoyed it. So this is when you can monitor to see if they have an understanding before they go to the you do. You can have a quick check, and this is where they actually, instead of partnering, they might do an iMovie, a Flipgrid, or something of that sort. And I know she just went through this with you. So you see all the parts. Now, where did she get it? I want to review that again. It's in Schoology. And in Schoology, you go ahead and open up your unit. So I have it open already because I clicked on it. And you'll notice it's right here, literally in the unit. You will see where here's the mini lesson. And if you notice back over there, it had it was on anchor charts, which is a routine to put in place. That is literally routine lesson 4 of your benchmark resources. And you know it's benchmark because it says right here it's a launching. So when you're planning, you need your digital benchmark or your physical. You need this, and you also need your, I would look at your performance assessments by days. You're chunking it out as well. And that's going to help you because you can copy off of that. So let me show you what I mean. Get through as a teacher. Here, when you keep on going through your day, you'll notice it says writing workshop here. And this is where it says PA2 day 1. Well, guess where it is? PA2 day 1, which is performance assessment 2. It's over here to look at the whole thing, but it's also here. Click on it, and that pulls up performance assessment 2, which is focusing on writing. And you can see that the focus here, there's the whole bundle. You're supposed to brainstorm with the partners, so that's why the movie part was involved. And then they're going to plan and draft. That's the whole performance assessment, but you don't do it in one sitting. Here's day 1. They are just going to brainstorm topics. And what does my topic was planning look like? In day 2, they continue into day 3, and that's how it's chunked throughout the time. That's going to help you a lot when you're planning to see that these are ongoing every day. You're doing something with the performance assessment and not waiting for it at the end. Okay, so we have the virtual learning. Now you've seen all those pieces and how they fit together. So here's your summary slide. Go back into present mode. If you, as we were going, if you did as I asked and you paused and watched those videos about each of these pieces, then you are set and you're going to be good to start planning with your PLC. You would need to watch this video. This is the like cream on top that goes in the immense detail about how everything works and goes together. So I want you to go ahead and do that and talk with your PLC, and then come back and then review this, because what you're going to see is this is where you start. Then you go into this and the unit previews. In the unit previews, you have your essential standards that have been identified. You have the scaffolds for those standards. You have your performance assessments broken down. You have resources. It's amazing. And that's all you're going to be gathering that before you actually go into the pacing tools and then start doing your daily pacing that translates then into what you're going to do for your virtual learning. And this is for you as a teacher, thinking about the components that need to go into it. So this is like your summary page of everything. And then these are the tools you use. So if you look on the bottom, this is the link to what Kristen used, the 4 PLC questions about what do they need to know and what are they going to show, and then what if they don't know it, and what if they already do, you can extend. This is a calendar, which is also linked here. And then this is the actual daily, that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday that she's used. And then you have, as you're planning this, all those resources is when you get into this preview, that's when you start really culling the resources from there, from the pacing tools, and where they put in things from the benchmark IFD and from TRS itself and some other places. And then, like I said earlier, the PLC power, that's where it takes place. That's where you're going to make your planning really work, because you'll be using the evidence. Did they show mastery? And if not, what do you do? And that's just an ongoing conversation. And if they did, then what's next? And you'll continue to have those conversations, and also just working out the navigation of then how do you meet with your kids in the smaller groups, in the breakout rooms, or scheduling that, or what's that going to look like? So I want to end with this building a literacy community, because all that you're having to do and put your thinking into, I hope you see that for the planning part of it, you have so many tools and they're tightly aligned that it should make it so much easier for you to lay out your day. So you can be more thoughtful about then what reading materials you're pulling, more thoughtful about what writing you're going to model, and hugely more thoughtful about how you're going to interact and connect with your students where you're affirming them and valuing their voices and valuing them as readers and writers. So just remember, you're creating that joy. Show your reader identity, your writer identity. Let them relate, connect, because it's all about those relationships. And start watching and listening and delighting in that learner from day one. We're excited and we can't wait to hear how things go. Wish you the best. Talk to you later.